Right, show us what you got then, Luke. I was going to say it's a delivery, but I drove it here. Yeah, Luke made us trail all the way to Malaga to get this straw because it's apparently the good stuff.
It's a very worthwhile collection, this. Let's get some out while I'm doing it.
Yeah, Luke, people might be wondering where you actually find resources like this.
This is from an organic supplier of cereal.
Is it
cereal
difficult? Is it difficult to find straw or hay like this?
It's not difficult to find straw or hay. It's very easy to find straw or hay, but the difficulty is finding suppliers who definitely don't spray it with any herbicides, glyphosate, Grazon, any of these chemicals that can potentially still be in this material. And that is what I'm really important. Like, I'm making an extra effort to try and avoid, having material with that kind of stuff in it, because this is all eventually going to end up on the land and eventually break down into the soil where I'm growing my fruit trees and my food. So I don't want any of these chemicals, leaching into my soil, potentially affecting the future success of what I'm growing here. And
so that's why you made us drive all 2 hours to a farm near Malaga to collect this.
Yeah. I have seen horror stories of other growers who buy a material like this and they put on some mulch on their garden or manure on their garden, and because it's got residues of chemicals in it, that has actually killed their entire garden. I've seen stories of that, and once that is the case, unfortunately you're left with a situation where your soil is damaged for a long period as well. It doesn't just disappear. A lot of these chemicals, they don't disappear, and especially things like Grazon, which they use on a lot of grass fields when they're feeding the grass to livestock. They use it to reduce the weeds in the hay material. That can end up in the animal's manure, and if you're buying that hay directly as well, you're going to have that Grazon on your growing project.
You've got to be careful. You've got to be very careful.
Yeah, the best option would be to grow your own material to chop and drop. Certain kinds of grain, whether that's rye or wheat, to grow over this winter, and when it comes to this time of the year now, it's when it's chopped and dropped to create a nice thick layer of free material. Because you shouldn't have to import all this material. This I'm doing because I've got a lot of new space that I'm trying to cover with a thick layer and sort of set the foundations. But once you have your initial input, you can effectively just be self-sufficient with it if you do it correctly. You plant it in the winter and grow your own material.
Yeah, it would be good if you could grow all your own straw as well.
Yeah.
Keep it all in the same system.
Yeah, that would be the ideal. And so yeah, really make sure if you are getting some stuff like this for your own project, try your best to make sure it's organic. Talk about creating the perfect soil conditions for plants to grow in. You want damp, moist soil, not waterlogged, wet soil, moist soil that's warm for a consistent long period. So if you can, and when you look underneath a thick layer of straw like this, you'll notice that it's exactly that. It's getting the humidity and the warmth from the sunlight on this. At the same time, the moisture isn't escaping the same. When you have exposed soil, it just goes from really wet when you water it to bone dry, and then you repeat the cycle. It's a very inconsistent sort of process, and the plants don't like that as much.
So how have you gone about planting these melons then?
So I
see they're already germinating here now.
Yeah, it's 3 in this hole. I did 4 in each hole. I created a little parting in the straw because I direct sowed the melons and they won't be able to push through this, but they can easily grow through that, and as they grow up I'll just push the straw around the base of plants. I just want to point out I didn't plant in the native soil with these melons. Eventually this area will be regenerated to the point where I can just part the straw aside and plant in the soil. But for now, because I want to plant in it and not wait a few years for the soil to fully regenerate, I've gone and created little buckets where I've decided to plant melons. So I actually dug out a small section of the soil and mixed in some of my homemade compost to just create better, looser, nicer soil for the melons to initially grow in. And yeah, if you didn't do that, this soil here gets so dry and compact, and because it's got some clay in the soil as well, when it gets dry it goes very solid and hard. It's not good conditions for the plants to grow in. But as the years progress and I apply a thick layer over the entire area, and every autumn I'll be planting cover crops to decompact the soil, add fertility and also create my own biomass, it's going to get to the point where I will simply be able to part the straw anywhere in this area and direct sow what I want into it. Yeah, I want to show you what I'm doing with the trees because it's slightly different. On some of the trees I am using the straw. Again, it's one of those cases where you use what you've got, and I almost see around the trees as like a composting site. Wherever I have some chopped material, I'll just bring it in and put it on. But I'll show you what I'm doing now on a cherimoya tree I just planted up there and how I've done it slightly different to this. This is the cherimoya tree, and as you can see straight away I've got a lot of leaf mulch around the base of the tree. Leaves are probably the best fertiliser, nature's fertiliser you can put around your tree. Every year, nature, everyone knows, nature has a process of dropping its leaves on the ground, and that is effectively taking up all the nutrients that tree is used in the entire year, from the deep subsoil, all that energy, put into the tree leaves, and then every autumn they fall and then get put on the surface and go back down again. So it's a really, really good material to take advantage of, and because we live near a forest, we have quite a lot of leaf mulch. One thing with the fruit tree though I'd say is I try and create a little volcano around the base of the tree. I don't want very thick, constantly damp material on the base of the tree. It can actually rot where the trunk meets the ground. So you want to make sure to avoid that, especially if you're in a place where it rains a lot more and you have a lot more wet material. Again, here in Spain it's less of an issue. I don't recall watering this one, and
it's probably at least a month since it's rained.
Yeah, it's wet there. It's damp straight away. And also, it's just some bugs, beetles, insects crawling around to go under. But yeah, it's nice and damp. It's also very important to do this for young trees, even more so than older trees, because the young ones obviously have got less developed roots, shallower roots, and a bit more prone to the conditions. So when you're just planting it, you want to take good care of it. As the years go on, this tree is going to become a lot more independent naturally, and its roots are going to go deeper. So there's less of a need to put a thick layer around the base, but I still will be building up. And the good thing is as well, when your trees grow bigger and bigger, they have a lot of leaves themselves, and then they just drop on the floor around the base of the tree anyway. So yeah, it's a really good one.
That's a cherimoya tree then, Luke?
Yeah, this is a cherimoya tree. This is a Fino de Jet variety. A very, very nice tasting cherimoya.
That's one of my favourite fruits, that.
Well, it's very similar to a custard apple. It's like a white fleshed fruit with big black seeds in it, but very sweet, very, very good flavour. This one particularly, this variety, has a lot of flesh to seed ratio.
I noticed you've got another cherimoya tree up there, but with straw around it. So you're doing a bit of experimenting.
Yeah, I'm doing again.
Why don't you show us that?
Right, okay, go on then.
Got more important guests, Luke.
Come on, Rascal. Come here. Oh. Yeah. Come to the tree with me then. Right. So this is the cherimoya tree. Sit on there, you go. Again, wood chip and leaf mulch is my preferred choice for mulch around the fruit tree, but because I've got a lot of good straw to work with, I've used it around this tree in this case. But but straw does have a very good ability to seems to really keep the soil nice and moist underneath, and also it does a really good job of reflecting the sunlight as well, because it has a slightly lighter, shiny colour to it, which again is going to help here in Spain. I actually need to clear this bit. Well, this is a hazelnut tree. Going over the top, it's got a little hazelnut set on it there. Nice hazelnut.
You're going to have to chop this back then. You have to make a decision to sacrifice either that or the cherimoya.
Most of the area I've planted here is very densely planted. I mean, you'll see straight away all these natural wild plants. This is some lavender I've put in. A lot of wild plants like fennel that's coming up. But there's actually a new mulberry tree just there as well in front of me. So both of these trees are going to be quite, like this mulberry and this cherimoya will eventually become quite big. So I'm going to have to make some sacrifices, choose some of what I want and don't want to occupy the space. but for the moment I'm happy just getting lots of things growing in a small area, and I can do the thinning out later.
I noticed you're planting some of these fruit trees very close together.
Yeah. So
is that just because you enjoy planting trees, or is there a strategy to that?
I do enjoy planting trees, yeah, but that isn't the reason I'm doing it. The reason I'm doing it is because it's a strategy to basically give me the option, the option in future to decide which ones I want to keep and not keep.
So it's like a backup tree.
Yeah, it's like hedging my bets. It's reducing the risk because trees take time to grow, and you don't know for sure if one is going to do well in a certain position. In this case here, I've got a cherimoya, a mulberry, a hazelnut, and this avocado here. I'm eventually going to have to decide if I want to keep 2 or 3 of those trees, because when they get to full size, it's going to be quite dense and too dense for them to grow well. So, but the reason I want to do that is because if that cherimoya for some reason doesn't do so well, I've got a backup tree here, a nice mulberry to take its place, or vice versa, and that means I don't lose the years. And losing the years with fruit trees would be a bit of a blow.
Yeah, it is a good strategy, that, because it takes like 5 years and then you don't know how good it's going to be.
Even though I'm young, I don't have to wait another 5 years if one of them struggles.
So you're planting extra fruit trees with the knowing that you're going to sacrifice some.
Yeah. Even these here. This is a locust and a mango. I'm not too sure how the mango is going to do here, because it might not be quite, the conditions might not be quite good enough for it here. So the locust is a backup, and then I can choose if I want to keep one or the other. So yeah, mulch your trees, mulch your vegetables, mulch your annuals,
and get unloading that Land Rover.
Set yourself up for success.
There's a book, Luke, on how cats secretly judge you and secretly think that we're all idiots. Not me of course, but people like you when they're watching.
She's more of a companion. She behaves more like a dog. That's the weird thing. Most cats are quite elusive, but Rascal she behaves very much like a dog, and she follows you around. Hey. No. Hey. She does a lot of complaining, but she likes it really, because otherwise she'd run away.